Hey everybody, welcome back around to the Blog and Grill. I am your host Doug here with your video blog for March 20th, 2015. I have a great blog planned for you today as we are going to look at some March Madness. We will also take a look at your NBA standings, your New York sports update, and NASCAR heads to Fontana. So let's get to it now. First with some March Madness, and before we get into the actual tournament, let's first look at the big news yesterday out of Syracuse. Jim Boeheim announces that he will retire in 3 years. I'm not surprised by this. I think it's something that was going to come. Jim's getting old anyways, and now with this scandal that's arisen from the NCAA, which he is going to appeal, which I think is something that he needs to do as well. I think it's very interesting that he will retire in 3 years, and then just within hours after him announcing his retirement in 3 years, we had two players, B.J. Johnson and Ron Patterson, both saying that they will transfer. Ron could transfer to Indiana. No word on where B.J. could transfer to. And that's going to open up the possibility for bringing in the big-time recruit out of Rochester, Thomas Bryant. And then next year, that they will have the option to bring in Titus Battle, who is a very good point guard. So that's going to be two interesting things to look at as we move forward with this. But I still think Jim's going to be able to recruit for the next 3 years, and hopefully they can transition it to the Mike Hopkins role very easy, very quickly, and make it just a very simple thing. So I think the retirement by Boeheim is a good call on his part, and we'll see what he can do. I think he could eventually get those wins back, so that's going to be important to see if he can get back up to that 900 win mark. And eventually, I think his wins will be reinstated, and you will see him go back over the 1,000 win mark. All right, let's get into the tournament. There was a lot of great storylines in the NCAA tournament yesterday. I had a tough day with only 9 of my 16 picks going the proper way. It was just a really tough day, definitely in the tournament. 9 of 16 is not very good, and I did lose a few Elite 8 teams and such. But really, some big games yesterday. We have a lot of 3-14 upsets. We had Baylor losing to Georgia State. We also had Iowa State losing to UAB. It was just a very tough day for the Big 12 with those two teams going down, and also Texas losing to Butler. But we still have a lot of good games to go. I think Villanova really showed that they're going to be a force to reckon with in this tournament. They have a tough game tomorrow, right around 7 o'clock with NC State, which I think is going to be a very fun game to watch. I have NC State winning that game and getting to the Sweet 16. But let's just take a look at some other games that will be going on in the next couple of days. Definitely tomorrow, Arkansas, North Carolina is going to be a good one. There's a lot of good games today too, though. Iowa and Davidson, that game's going to tip right around 7:20. I think that's going to be a fun game to watch as well. And some other good games on today. Wichita State, Indiana at 2:45. 12:40, you got your Michigan State, Georgia game, as there's quite a few 7-10 matchups left. And the 7-10 game yesterday with VCU and Ohio State was a very exciting game to watch. And there's a lot of late games too. Providence and Dayton will be going at it late. That could be a good game for Dayton to try to win and get into the next round. And if I had to pick an upset for today, I'm going to go crazy on you guys here, and I'm going to say watch that 3-10 game with Belmont and Virginia. We've seen 2-15 upsets. Belmont can score the ball. Virginia really struggles to score the ball, so just watch for Belmont to maybe make something happen in this tournament and get a win against a very good Virginia team. They're the kind of team that I think could beat Virginia as they can knock down enough jumpers. We'll keep you updated on all things tournament. We'll talk more tournament on Monday. Time for your NBA update, and we're going to go to your NBA standings and take a look at what is going on in the association as we head down the stretch, as we are now just about 10 to 12 games left in the season. And I just want to give you possible playoff matchups and who I think would win these games right now. In the East, our 1-8 matchup right now would be Atlanta-Boston. I think Atlanta wins that series easily. Cleveland-Miami, Cleveland would win it easily. Toronto-Milwaukee, I think, is an interesting series. I think Milwaukee could push them. Milwaukee has good guard play. Toronto has struggled as of late. I might take Milwaukee in that series to get it done. And then finally, Chicago, I think, will beat Washington, setting up an interesting matchup in the second round is we would have Atlanta, Chicago, and Cleveland, Milwaukee. I think Cleveland would roll over Milwaukee, and I think Chicago would beat Atlanta, setting up a Cleveland-Chicago Eastern Conference Finals, and I would take Cleveland in that series if Kevin Love plays well to get that Cavaliers team to the finals. And then finally, out west, and the West playoffs are going to be insane. Golden State, OKC in the first series, Memphis, San Antonio, Houston, Dallas, and the Clip Show going up against Rip City, which is going to be a great series as well. And these series are really tough to pick. I would probably take OKC in the series if Durant gets healthy, but I don't think he will be. So I'll take Golden State. I will take Memphis. I will take Houston, and I will take Portland. So I'm going to take all 4 top seeds to advance, and that would set up a Golden State-Portland series, and I think Portland, with their size, can give Golden State some serious trouble, but I think Golden State would sneak by, and then I would take Houston over Memphis in that next round, matching up our 2 possible MVP candidates in Steph Curry and James Harden, and then coming out of that series, I would probably take Golden State. So I'm looking right now at a Golden State-Cleveland NBA final, and I think it would be absolutely fantastic. And I think Cleveland and LeBron are going to get it done and give Cleveland their first title in a very long time. All right, time to take a look at NASCAR as they head to Fontana, 5th race of the year. Kevin Harvick's won 2. We've seen Joey Logano and Jimmy Johnson also win. Kyle Busch, though, runs very good at Fontana as he is our defending champ. But my guy to watch who ran really well here last year and almost won the race if it wasn't for a late caution is Kyle Larson. I think he's starting to build some momentum. Watch out for Larson on Sunday as he could win his first NASCAR Sprint Cup Series race at Fontana. All right, let's take a look at your New York sports update. Yankees camp. Adam Warren's going to make a start today against the Detroit Tigers as he tries to win the 5th spot. Also, Alex Rodriguez will DH and be in the 4-hole. And Jacoby Ellsbury quotes and says, "I feel a lot better." Remember, he strained his oblique the other day, and he is likely to be ready for opening day. Your New York sports schedule for tonight in the NCAA tournament: St. John's, the number 9 seed, taking on San Diego State. That game tips at around 9:40. Number 12 seed Buffalo taking on the 5th seed West Virginia. That game tips around 2:10. In the NBA tonight, Knicks at the 76ers. Nets at home against the Bucks. Knicks will tip around 7, Nets at 7:30. And first pitch for the Yankees and the Tigers is at 1:05. Cards will be taking on the Mets at home. That game, first pitch is right around 1:10. I will be back on Monday with another blog for you as we will get you set up for your Sweet 16 matchups. And we'll also talk some more NBA, NASCAR as we will wrap up the weekend at Fontana, and we'll get you ready for Major League Baseball opening day along with the NFL Draft. Thank you for tuning in to the Blog and Grill. It has been a lot of fun. I will be back on Monday. Have a great weekend. You can follow me on Twitter at YankeeBaller415. Also check me out on SportsMindedNews.com. Thanks for tuning in. I will see you Monday. Have a great weekend.